A very good evening. You're watching India Today social media. I'm Nabila Jamal, bringing you the roundup of the day's news. Let me start with Prime Minister Modi's birthday today. Of course, the entire country is talking about Prime Minister Modi's birthday because somehow he's managed to give the country a gift which we're really thankful of. And what I mean by that is basically India today has set all world records in vaccinating more than 2 crore people in just a single day. Trust me, it's a massive feat. 2 crore is around about the kind of population that you probably in Australia or a few other countries. We've almost, literally, India has vaccinated an entire country's population in a single day. So this is the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's birthday gift almost to the country. Of course, you know, this slams all the naysayers, all those critics who've condemned India and its vaccination pace, saying that we were not prepared, we were not ready, we'll be brought down to our knees because we did not have enough vaccines. We would have probably imported vaccines from other countries, probably begged for vaccines from other countries, but yet we wouldn't be able to vaccinate our entire adult population. These are the kind of criticisms that we receive, not just by the opposition parties, of course, but even intellectuals who said that India might not match up. So really, this is a time when we were looking at the country that's caught up to that ambitious goal of vaccinating the entire adult population within this year end. And today, the record that India has broken really makes it look like we're going to achieve that goal of vaccinating the full population by end of the year, maybe much earlier than that. So even as we speak right now, we're looking at over 2 crore people who vaccinated. You can check on the CoWIN portal to actually see the numbers flipping every second. Government vaccination centers, there were about 50,000 odd so far. The center has almost doubled up the government vaccination centers in just the last 24 hours. Only so that this is, again, like I said, it was done on the occasion of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's 71st birthday. So they're of course much excited and fully pumped up, and BJP workers on ground are doing all that they can to ensure the vaccination reaches its highest goal today. So 2.5 crore is their goal, and I don't see why we won't reach it. It's going to be so quick that we'll actually reach that mark. So that said, great news. Prime Minister's birthday today. We saw a lot of celebrations all over the country. Of course, JP Nadda in the national capital unveiled an exhibition on the life of Modi. So it's an actual exhibition there which shows the journey of Narendra Modi. He was born in 1950. And for his journey from an RSS worker all the way to becoming the Gujarat Chief Minister and then to the Prime Minister. So his entire life's journey in an exhibition that JP Nadda had inaugurated today. You had several other celebrations from most parts of the country, including Bhopal. A 71-foot long cake was cut. You have a cycle rally that was carried out in Pune. We had in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, we had L. Murugan, who cleaned the beach up, and there was a sand artist, Sudarshan, who massively came up with a huge Narendra Modi sand art. So this is the kind of celebration that we saw today in India, and it is exciting because we're seeing good work being done, and the vaccination drive, to name a few. Okay, all right, let me take you through what Prime Minister Narendra Modi today on the occasion also said when he really took up a tough stance at the 21st Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. So he, of course, very strictly spoke about radicalisation, particularly speaking of Pakistan. He says that, the world must be warned on radicalisation, and in fact, he says the world is facing several challenges because of a certain region, trying to harbor terror and terror groups. So it's about time that we all stand up against it, and there is huge trust deficit and security threat. And it was, of course, without naming the country, he indicated at Pakistan-Afghanistan crisis, of course, saying that this is that one should keep absolute hawk eye on radicalisation, which seems to be on the rise today. Now, again, speaking of China, aiming at China, not mentioning the country's name, the Prime Minister also, Modi said, without naming China, that connectivity initiative particularly cannot be a one-way street. Modi said that there should be mutual trust. Connectivity projects need to be consultative, it has to be transparent, and it's got to be participatory. It can't be a one-way street. Again, speaking of China, how they're like rapidly building infrastructure along the border areas, it really, it's intimidating at the end of it. And we see that we see that Prime Minister Modi is taking note of that, and of course speaking right there at the 21st Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Now, cutting across, we're looking at security threat in India. Of course, 6 people who were arrested, who were suspected terrorists. Now, with regards to those arrests, 6 of them who were arrested, who were allegedly trying to plot series of blasts in multiple cities ahead of the festive season in India. Now we're looking at a high-level security meet that's being carried out by the ATS chief, by the SOG, intelligence agencies of about 11 states, that's underway in Delhi. So this is the meet that's happening only to ensure that security is in check ahead of the festive season and the Uttar Pradesh polls. Remember, it's the largest state and all eyes are on UP polls, and each time UP polls comes closer, we see this kind of security threat that's usually flagged off. All right, now speaking of that, we're looking at New Zealand's cricket body today. Very shocking. They've actually pulled out of Pakistan's cricket tour. So New Zealand was going to be part of the Pakistan cricket tour after 18 long years. They were part of this. They were already in Pakistan, in fact, but now New Zealand's government decided that since they've got some intel reports that suggest there could be a security threat, they decided to pull out. So it's quite an embarrassment, global embarrassment for Pakistan today, because there's already such a trust deficit. They're already supporting the Taliban tacitly, and the world knows it. And Afghanis world over have been condemning Pakistan for sort of pushing or supporting the Taliban with their atrocious behavior. And at a time like this, when there's so much instability, New Zealand pulling out of the Pak tour has come as a big blow and a big insult to Pakistan. We heard that Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has repeatedly tried to assure New Zealand's administration, but they have not agreed. They've worried. This really. Remember, in 2009, there was also an attack on Sri Lankan cricket team in Pakistan. So just in memory of that, doesn't seem like the cricket team of New Zealand want to take any chances. They've withdrawn. So let me cut across. We're looking at Maharashtra, the Sachin Vaze case, the Antilia Mukesh Ambani's house bomb scare. So in that probe now, India Today has accessed the statement of Sachin Vaze. In fact, Sachin Vaze has now said that he's revealed, in fact, that Anil Deshmukh, who was the then Home Minister of Maharashtra, had demanded 2 crore rupees from Sachin Vaze if he had to be reinstated back into the department. Remember, Sachin Vaze, he's a famous encounter specialist. So he was basically not part of the police team and didn't have that kind of clout like he used to earlier. So he was very desperate to get back and find himself relevant in the scheme of things in Maharashtra. So Sachin Vaze urged or pushed and constantly, almost maybe begged Anil Deshmukh to bring him back to the mainstream, and he wanted to be playing an active role in the Mumbai Police Department. So Sachin Vaze in his statement says that Anil Deshmukh asked him to pay up 2 crores if he had to convince the NCP chief Sharad Pawar to bring him back and reinstate him. So this man Sachin Vaze took the orders and tried to come up with this whole bomb scare conspiracy so that he could rake up some money and then pay off Anil Deshmukh and then eventually come back into a main a top cops role in the Mumbai Police Department. But of course, it all went wrong. We know what happened to that case. Now, this really brings focus back on Anil Deshmukh, the former Home Minister of Maharashtra, and almost corroborates with all the allegations made by Parambir Singh, the former top cop, who said that Anil Deshmukh is the man who has asked Sachin Vaze and other cops as well in Mumbai to extort crores of rupees from about 1,750 odd bars and restaurants in the state. So extortion basically is what Anil Deshmukh allegedly has asked his cops to do. Anyway, now Anil Deshmukh has not adhered to any of the summons given by the Enforcement Directorate. ED is now checking into money laundering allegations. He's not appeared for any questioning so far. He's skipped all summons. The ED now, we believe, is going to be approaching court against this kind of ignorance shown by Anil Deshmukh. On that note, finally, we're looking at Black Friday protests that took place by the farmers, and it was fully backed. In fact, it was initiated by the Shiromani Akali Dal, the Badals, basically, who carried out a large protest condemning the 3 new farm laws. But in fact, even the leaders, Shiromani Akali Dal President Sukhbir Singh Badal and former Union Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal, they were detained as well because they were not given permission to protest in the national capital, and at a time like that they still carried out their protest and they were detained. But remember, the Badals have been accused of themselves supporting the farm laws while they were an ally of the BJP a few years ago. So this is what Navjot Singh Sidhu says in a press conference just yesterday, that it was Shiromani Akali Dal, which is the root cause cause for actually coming out with these farm laws. They agreed to all those clauses in the farm laws in 2013 itself. They were almost in agreement to every single rule and law that is today in the new farm law, and today they've now turned the whole thing around because the farmers are protesting to try and gain significance in Punjab, which is a lost ground for them. This is Navjot Singh Sidhu's words, not mine, but this is what has happened apparently. Now let me take you through Telangana. A quick word. We are looking at TRS now. In fact, it was quite an embarrassing moment here. Revanth Reddy, a huge political controversy erupted after Revanth Reddy spoke about, he's a Congress leader in Telangana. He in fact in a platform, he called Shashi Tharoor, who was his Congress colleague, a donkey. And that video has now gone viral. He says that just because someone speaks a few words of English, that does not make them knowledgeable. What a donkey. And now he's, of course, withdrawn his words. This was in relation to Shashi Tharoor praising KCR, KCR's constituency, basically praising the Chief Minister of Telangana. And then there was some issue that happened, and this is what his Congress counterpart said. So it was quite embarrassing actually. I'm going to end this right here, but not before reminding you that there's viral fever that's raging out there. We're not too sure what exactly it is, but it's really spread across many parts of Uttar Pradesh. In fact, now the latest being Agra. Agra, we are seeing hospitals running full. Many children are victims to this. So this is a serious viral fever that's gripped Uttar Pradesh. We're looking at a few of the hospitals that are running full right now, and the doctors, of course, are a little shocked with the way and the speed with which this viral fever is spreading. So this is a season, it's monsoons, it's raining in most parts of North India especially. So if you really are out there, these are same protocols that you need to follow. Wear your face mask, ensure you sanitize, have warm water, keep health, proper food hygiene, hand hygiene, all of those things will take you a long way.